This is my final prototype for CS6750. I've been focusing on the Audible app, more specifically its search capabilities, both in searching for new content, but then also looking for your content that you've already saved. So I'll go ahead and show you my prototype for that. So if we go under the Discover page, you can see like this is where people generally go to if they wanted to look for new things. So it shows the categories, like the genres. If you kept scrolling, it would show like basically like bestsellers of 2024, like most well-read, most rated on Goodreads, that kind of thing. You can also see a little search bar here that you can do. So I can show you, like, let's say we wanted to look for a sci-fi book. If you clicked on that, like, you would see a filter here. People said in the initial prototyping that they would rather have the filter in the Discover page rather than the home or settings, probably because this is where people go to most when they look for new content. So if you click on there, you can see, like for sci-fi specifically, like some of the titles. You can see it says 1 credit, where it means that it costs extra rather than what's included in your membership. And so what I did was I added a filter here so that if you clicked it, it would get rid of the extra content. It just shows you shows what's included in there. You can see the 1 credit stuff disappeared. Something that I also decided to do was if you click this in one of the categories, and let's say you go to like romance, it stays checked. I thought it'd be more convenient for somebody who only wants to look at included stuff, so that way they don't have to like constantly recheck it each time they go into a new category. It doesn't reset like that. But also, the reason why I put it in each category was because let's say somebody wanted to look at what's included first, and then if they're more willing to spend some money, they can uncheck it and look at the extra stuff, like the popular new things. They can do that all in the same genre without having to go back to the Discover page each time, because I originally had it here in my initial prototyping, and I noticed during my interviews, like people were having to go back and forth a lot. And so just to like cut out that extra step, I put it in each of the categories so they can do it in the moment. But then also if they wanted to keep it checked or unchecked, then it'll stay that way for each time they go into a different category. So that's what I added for searching for new content to make it easier. Another thing that I noticed was when you go into a certain title and you want to save it to the library, you would click on a title like this and you would say add to library, and it would just add there automatically. If you wanted to add it to like a collection so like it would be easier to find later, you would have to go into the library tab down here, scroll through to find that title, and then add it into the collection by clicking the tabs and everything. It's just a lot of extra steps, and honestly, more interfaces like Pinterest and Kindle, they cut out that step and they just allow you to add it to collections in the moment, which is what I thought would be good to have that kind of consistency and lower the amount of learning having to be done by the users. And so I just basically what I added was a drop-down menu. So when you hit add a library, it shows added past tense. There's a little check mark, but also you can see the collections. So you can add a new collection if you'd like, or you can add it to one of your existing ones. And so you could scroll through and like select one. Let's say you were adding this to book club. You would click to book club. The drop-down menu would disappear. You would get that feedback of added to book club with a little check mark in the green. But then also, you could click to view, and you would see all the stuff you've already added to that collection before in the past, and you would get that additional confirmation that you have that title in there, so it's just easier to find later, like instead of having to scroll through everything in your library and having to save it there later. So I basically just added better search capabilities for looking for things in the moment, like for new titles, but then also later on in your library.